On the 17th of March 2024, the Jamaica Football Federation presidential election was being announced. And long behold, Mr. Michael Ricketts was the man to regain that position. Some persons would say that it was unfair for him to be the person to lead the Jamaica Football Federation yet again, having been in charge from 2017. Raymond Anderson was the person who was competing against him, but he fell aside, not on the path that he was expecting. However, the Jamaica football team has finished third in the CONCACAF Nations League, but is it what we can say this is the way forward for Jamaica? Well, you have some persons known to be popular social media personalities, and when they speak, whenever they talk, what they put across can have a huge impact on what to come. Today on Premier 7, I want to evaluate the critiques of Pretti Don that was being said about the Jamaica football team and how the team can go forward.
JFM. We are them. Let me tell you, Jamaica FF have been rocks. And the worst country sports accommodation. The worst. Nobody at all never did like playing for Jamaica. Jamaica the worst side for you play for. Nobody at all rate them. You can't ask Whitmore them. You can't ask all of them from back in the days. Gardner, Fuller, the whole of them, they can tell you. JFF I worse to see you play ball. All them do with the money, I take your spend for themselves.
There will be news that will trend as if lightning has struck twice, or some news will be just hidden as if it's a secret. If you listened or have heard what Pretti Don has mentioned about JFF, it seems to be something that is on a continuous basis about the Jamaica Football Federation. I am here to evaluate what was being said and see how well Jamaica can improve and go forward. Let me just start off by evaluating Pretti Don's criticism of the Reggae Boyz. Historically, the Jamaica football team could be considered as beaten sticks by many persons due to the fact that we may have good players, but they are not properly assessed and managed. These players may be eligible of doing way more better, but our system that we have in place does not help them to grow. Pretti Don mentioned the names of former coach in, I don't even remember the name. That just to show you how poorly Jamaica is running. But, I mean, what was being said is something for which we have to speak about because we want for the national team to continue growing and to move forward and don't go back. Jamaica is a place that many persons love, but our football can be very abysmal. And upon watching the games thereafter, I think that there are ways that Jamaica can improve, and I'm seeing how Jamaica is doing better. A third place finish in the CONCACAF Nations League is something that we would take with a smile, even though we wanted to go forward. But she mentioned that the money that JFF receives, they take it for themselves. How true is that? Well, I know that thereafter the competition that Jamaica finished, there would have been some money that JFF would have received. But is it a case in which they will be taking that money and using it for their own personal use? Or will they improve the facilities and the conditions for the national team? Names like Ricardo Gardner, Fuller, are popular names that represents Jamaica on a regular basis back in the days. And those names were very popular whenever it comes on to the Premier League. Names such as Bolton Wanderers and Stoke City. I was grown up in those days of seeing these Jamaican players playing some good football. But now we're seeing where Jamaica is playing even better in terms of our players being given more opportunities to play in the MLS or for European clubs. Leon Bailey and the Jean Whisper are the key names or the most popular names in Jamaica. And I just want to say that we here in Jamaica wants for our players to be better off. The thing is, criticism is something that some persons can take while others may not do well with it. And for me personally, I believe that criticism is a must as long as you're trying to do something that you love and you want for it to improve. For example, being here on social media, presenting on a live stream is to keep that focus on you, the audience. If I have my eyes here, or here, or here, or here, I know for sure that somebody will say you need to improve. And I appreciate everyone who takes it up on themselves to correct or to critique those persons who they want to do better. And for me, criticism is something that I accept. So I mentioned the critiques done by Pretti Don on the Reggae Boyz. It was something that made me look into the Reggae Boyz team and say, what can be done for them to improve? We know that the players are good players, but is it a case of which we're going to use players based on favoritism or players who can work in a system that will play not boring football, but football that will influence us and others to watch? Reggae Boyz needs to improve, and yes, we are considered as beaten sticks for a lot of times or for many years. But it looks so bad for us to be so popular and we are not the team that persons can say, boy, Reggae Boyz are one top team in the man. No team of God Jamaica can't beat them, you know. And even if they come out we yard, them are beat we. That is what persons want to see happening for the Reggae Boyz. But it all boils down to the coaching as well, you know. Sometimes the coaching is poor. Sometimes the coaching is not good. And we're seeing now where Coach Al Grimson is using his strategy, using his different formation alongside his men. I think maybe he's listening to other social media personalities and listening to what they're saying and taking what they are putting forward into consideration. Playing a formation that suits the performance ability of the players. So he works with the 3-4-3 or the 4-4-2. And we're seeing where that is improving for the national team. So if you never saw or haven't seen what I shown in regards to the criticism that was being done by Pretti Don, let's have a look again as to what was mentioned.
JFM. We are them. Let me tell you, Jamaica FF have been rocks. And the worst country sports accommodation. The worst. Nobody at all never did like playing for Jamaica. Jamaica the worst side for you play for. Nobody at all rated. You can't ask Whitmore them. You can't ask all of them from back in the days. Gardner, Fuller, the whole of them, they can tell you. JFF are worst blood. You see you play ball. All them do with the money, I take you spend for themselves.
Thank you very much, Pretti Don, for bringing across the important names again. And Whitmore, Theodore Whitmore, is one of those popular names that represented Jamaica, and he went on to score crucial goals and even come back to manage our national team. But in recent times, I was watching a YouTuber interviewing somebody of importance who was from America. And that person, he gave his honest opinion on Mr. Whitmore. He said that Mr. Whitmore wasn't good enough. He utilized some terms that I won't share here, but it is harsh criticism. And is it a case for which it is true, or is it a case for which it is not true? Then, if Mr. Whitmore was the best option for Jamaica, then I believe that he would more so be the person to be leading the national team. All right. So The part about the money being used, I spoke about that a little in regards to Jamaica has to get something from the CONCACAF Nations League. And I am hoping that that finances will be utilized to boost the integrity of the national team and their performance. All right, so with that being said, now, what about the strategies of how Reggae Boys can improve? The important usage of having a system in place and the importance of having JFF as an administrative board for the Jamaican national team, not only for the men but also for the females. They are the ones who will be responsible for improving the players and improving the facilities. Any issues that they undergo, there has to be a system in place that can adjust or amend those issues. We heard about some money that the players were not being paid on either sides, and I don't believe that that should be cooled and shoved aside. But I don't know what happened really and truly. I don't have all of the details, but the news shows players complain about payments, right? So we want to see how Jamaica can improve, and we want for the Jamaica Football Federation and our players to have this unity. Because when we have our key players going away, like on the female side, a Bonnie Shaw, we will not have the attraction to our football. And on the men's side, Leon Bailey, the two most prestigious names right now for Jamaica. If we don't have those persons who can attract other players from coming in or even huge sponsors, then Jamaica will be going on the back foot. Some persons use their emotions to critique the players. Say they do an interview, they will receive some lashing or some whips. Come on. Persons sometimes will use their emotion because it is in the moment. Not all persons will be strong enough in terms of saying that, all right, let me just let it be. Sometimes we have to speak on what is necessary. And that was what was being done by the players who was exercising what could be improved for the national team. All right, so strategies of how Jamaica can improve, or the Reggae Boys in other words. Action speaks louder than words. But putting across words that can be taken into consideration and measured and shown to be feasible, then it will work. Some of the things I would put across right now is that the Jamaica Football Federation has to put in place something that can unify the players, right? With themselves. We don't want to have the segregation or the separation between the players and the administration. We don't want for those above us to be separated from us, because if that is going to happen, then there will be a huge issue. There will be a barrier in terms of even communication. And we all know that communication plays an important factor as it relates to yielding important results. So that is one thing I want for them to look into. Having that connection with the players. Another thing is that they could consider is to seek sponsors that will really and truly have that interest in Reggae Boys football. Because when we talk about the schoolboy football, when we talk about champs, we're seeing that a huge amount of funds are issued from different companies in Jamaica, and ISA is getting that recognition even more than the Jamaica football team. The thing is, what I realized in Jamaica is that the national teams recognitions are down here, but the schooling competitions are up here. That should not be the case. So there should not be even a fluctuation. There should be steps or stages, whereas you move from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4. So the sponsorship that we want to see Jamaica having in the Reggae Boys team and even the females is those that can also and should have a say as to how the football should be taken into consideration or looked at. Because if we're going to receive sponsors, popular sponsors to help our football improve, and then the Jamaica Football Federation will be taking a stand against important matters, then we will fall along the way. So that is another point. The sponsorship that we need is to be put in place to improve the Jamaica football team. And of course, again, we want for those sponsors to have a say, because when they have a say or have that connection, the word connection is very important, with the Jamaica Football Administration, then we will have a more smooth sail. So 2 point share that you can consider, and you can even share your point as well in regards to that. The thing is, the Jamaica men's national team has done well in recent days, and the Copa America is coming up. We want to improve and go forward, because thereafter is the World Cup qualification. And what we built here, we don't want for it to be broken down. We have to have a solid foundation, then we can believe and we can overcome the obstacles that we normally go through. Like, for example, losing games in important time. Players are losing the right way as to how to play whenever it touch to like the 17th minute go behind. We want to eradicate those things, and we want to get better going forward. So the thing is about the Copa America, teams like Argentina, Peru, Uruguay, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Paraguay will be in the competition. And Jamaica was a part of the Copa America in recent times, but we never made it out of the group stage. The thing is, we have the quality players and we want to attract them with something that can keep them here. We have to keep the players here. So if it is money that is giving the trouble, JFA find a way to negotiate with the players, put in place a time frame that the players can work with to get payments. If it is a football condition, get some persons on board in the administration that understands the game, and also who have that human-like personality, who can speak with others to come on board to assist and bring a strong team to improve our football. So we're going to be in the group with Mexico, Ecuador, and Venezuela. We may finish third in that group, because the expectation, based on even understanding of the game, is that Mexico and Ecuador could be group favorites. Jamaica will have to prove the doubters wrong. Find a way to come out of that group. We don't want to hit any more barrier, because we're hitting barriers time and time again. We're hitting barriers where it is concerned with winning important games and winning even competitions like the CONCACAF Nations League. How many times are we going to finish without the gold medal? The United States and the Mexican team, they're always winning the competition. And all the time persons are saying that, boy, all of them are going winning. But some persons want to see Jamaica or even a Panama in a final. But then again, let's just swing low. But we need for Jamaica to finally hit that peak level like the United States and the Mexico, and to even move up into the FIFA rankings. And back to the topic, of course, I want to hear your say about evaluating Pretti Don's criticism of the Reggae Boyz and strategies as to how they can improve. I have done my part, and it is your time to do your part. As you can see, the page is growing. You are seeing that I'm improving, and that is what Jamaica needs. Well, let me know what you think on the matter. Take care and goodbye for now.